Hi Stampers, my name is Sandy Hancock. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Southern California, and today is Monday, August the 4th. Can you believe it? It's already August 2025. So today we're going to be working with the two-tone cardstock, and I'm so excited about this. So first of all, let me show you the papers that we're going to be using because I really did not understand them until today when I was figuring out what I was going to tell you about the DSP. Okay, so what I didn't realize that Stampin' Up! Did is look what they did here. Okay, here's the purple and blues. There's a whole sheet of purple and blue. Here's the greens. There are two whole sheets of greens. Here's the yellow, two whole sheets of yellow. And then they've got all the pinks. There's all the pinks. They threw a little purple in there too. But then they put a little bit of all of those into this one gorgeous paper. Well, I could not figure out what in the world to do with this paper. And one day I was surfing YouTube, yes, like we all do, and I found this channel. It's called Cheryl's Stampin' Squad. And what she did is she would come in and cut, I think she only did 1.5 inches or inch and, so she did less, maybe 1.5 inches of each one, and put them on individual cards. And I went, oh my gosh, this is so brilliant. So what I did, I took her idea for inspiration. I changed the dimensions of the card, and I'm using two-tone instead of regular cardstock. So here's the dark, this is Strawberry Slush, and here's the light side. So I've used 3 techniques on this card. I've layered the 2 sides, I've embossed and sanded, and then I've torn. And then I did the same idea inside, so that it's like, this kind of takes your breath away a little bit. And then when you open it, it's like, oh my gosh, there's more. It's just so much fun. And so I have made 4 more cards. I used the blue, the yellows, the greens, and then the purples, the petunia pops. And I'm going to show you those cards when I finish. But first, let me show you where they are in the catalog. Okay, so on page 77, oh shoot, I counted these and I forgot already. I think there's 50, I don't know, 50 some odd packages, and they're individual. So a whole package of cherry cobbler, there are 12 sheets in each package. There's lots of choices. And because I'm so new to the two-tone cardstock, I didn't know what to choose. And when they had that sale a week or so ago, and they were selling packages that had 6 colors in them, so 2 each of 6 colors, I thought, I'm gonna buy those packages. So when you have to kind of know the name of the package before you can find it. So this Strawberry Slush comes out of a package called Celebrate Together, and so it's on page 71. So I'm going to tell you where all of them are. So here we go, Celebrate Together, Strawberry Slush, Daffodil Delight, Pool Party, Cloud Cover, Fresh Freesia, and Blackberry Bliss. Oh my gosh, Be Still My Soul, beautiful colors. Okay, so I'm going to tell you where each one is, where you can find each of the colors. All right, so yes, so let's get started on making this card. So again, if you go to Cheryl's Stampin' Squad, you're going to see where I got my inspiration for this card. Okay, here's all our little pieces. Oh, I forgot to tell you one big lesson that I learned the hard way. Okay, this is the two-tone cardstock right here. This is the regular cardstock. Do you see any difference? No, there's no difference. Of course, I could sand and tear this. I can't sand and tear this, but I just made a simple plain layer with it. So did I need to use my two-tone cardstock? No, I didn't need to use my two-tone cardstock. I could have just used my regular cardstock for this big layer, and I could have saved so much two-tone for pretty things like this. Okay, so if you're just doing a layer and you're not doing anything to it, use your regular cardstock if you're okay with using the dark side. So anyway, learn that lesson. I wish I had realized that sooner. Okay, so this one is already scored. I don't know, here we go. Okay, so let's make sure it's even. Okay, now we are ready to go. So I'm going to show you Okay, maybe I'll put it here. If I were you, I would take a picture of these layers because I'm not going to show them to you over and over again. So this first layer, I said two-tone, but if you're okay with it being dark, just use your regular cardstock. So 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Then the white layer, which is here, 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. The DSP, it's actually, well, I did it 2 inches, and then I cut it. So actually I did it 2 inches, and then I cut it into 2 1-inch pieces. So, but it is 4 5/8 by 1 inch. But it's easier if you just cut a 2-inch piece and then cut it in half. And then, okay, so then the center piece though, it's the same 4 5/8, but I started with 1.5 inches of the two-tone because I wanted to have room to tear it on both sides and still end up with about 1 inch. So I started with 1.5 inches. Okay, so have you got a picture of that? All right, I'll put that there as long as it lasts, if it doesn't get bumped. Okay, so we're just gonna start assembling this card. And, oh, this makes me so sad. Okay, so here's the light side, here's the darker side. So we're just going to, I mean, it's already cut, so I'm just gonna use it, even though it's painful. When I realized I could have simply used the regular strawberry slush. You know what, this doesn't look to be exactly straight. I think I better straighten this up a little tiny bit. Doesn't that bug you when it's off just a little bit? Okay, now I'll put this on. So here's our first layer. Strawberry slush, the dark side. Okay, now the next layer, like I said, is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8, and again, it's just another layer. There's nothing fancy about it. Okay, so we're just going to put that down right in the center, hopefully. Okay, so far so good. Pretty easy, right? Okay, then that's for the inside. No, what is this for? Oh, this is for the front. Okay, so then I have my 2 pieces that, how did they come? They came like that. Okay, so I cut 2 inches, and I'll show you. Okay, so I just cut 2 inches here, and that's how we got this. So I'm gonna put these on each side, and then I'm gonna go emboss this with my sunflower embossing folder. And then we'll get busy sanding it and tearing it and having so much fun with it. Okay, so here is, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now we'll do this side. See if I can get it about the right place. I think that looks about right. Okay, so now I'm going to go get my sunflower embossing folder. Here's the light side. Wait, which is which? Which is which? This is the light side. This is the dark side. This is the light side. So I want the light side up, and I'm gonna go run it through the sunflower embossing folder. And then we're gonna have some fun sanding it and tearing it. So let me run it through. Okay, here we go. So now we've got our our embossed piece with the sunflower. I went to the dollar store. I think now it's the $1.25 store. But this sanding block was actually $1.35. And it's interesting, when I went to the front, I said, do you by any chance have a sanding block? And the lady at the front said, yes, it's on aisle so-and-so. And I went and found it, there it was. And I went back to her and I said, I am really amazed that you knew there was a sanding block in your store. And she goes, well, I just like walking up and down the aisles, seeing what we have. And I thought, okay, you're amazing. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this $1.35 sanding block. Let me move this out of the way. I don't need to sand it anymore. And I'm just, you can pull, you can push. It doesn't really matter what direction you go. Isn't this easy? Because the base of this cardstock, the two-tone, is white, whereas the Stampin' Up! Cardstock is solid color all the way through. But because this has a white center, when you emboss it, it just becomes amazingly interesting. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we've got to tear this so that it will fit in that center part. So I'm just going to tear a little bit off of each side. And you don't have to be too careful. I mean, you want it to be kind of fun. Okay, let's try the other side. And you can always go back and tear a little bit more if you need to. I would tear a little bit less than a little bit more to begin with. And it doesn't really even have to be like super even. Okay, that's pretty good. And it's not super even, is it? But it doesn't really have to be. Let me pick all this up. Well, hello. Well, this does make a little bit of a mess. Okay, get that. There we go. All right, so now let's just go right ahead and put this down. And if I wanted a little more space, which I could use a tiny bit more space. I don't know, I think I'm okay with that. But if you wanted it, you could go back and tear just a tiny bit more. So again, you see that this is the dark side. Okay, so we're just going to put this gorgeous piece right in the center. Ta-da! Okay, then I've got this piece for the inside already done. This I started with 1 1/4 inches, so it's torn down to about 1 inch. Let's go ahead and put that inside. Same thing, I did exactly the same thing to it, but this is 5 1/2, so it's going to go the entire length of the card. Okay, isn't that going to be a nice surprise? Hello. I love it. Okay, then we want to put a greeting. On this one, I put, I'm so glad we're friends, and that is from the, okay, I'm going to tell you what it's from. It's from Mixed Labels. It's this set right here. I love, love, love this bundle. I'm so glad we're friends. I've used almost all of these, and I've used the label. I just really enjoyed this particular bundle. Okay, but I wanted to use one of my, so you can put anything you want to on here, right? But I wanted to put Just Love Spending Time With You. That's one of my stamps from my $1 million set that is now retired. And, you know, can't stay forever, right? Okay, but that's what I wanted to use. So I'm going to pull out my Strawberry Slush pad. And I'm going to just test this once because I'm not putting it in the Stamparatus, which can make you nervous. Okay, that looks good. So, all right, so now I'll go ahead and stamp it on my centerpiece. Just love spending time with you. Ta-da! Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and put this. And these labels are from Spotlight on Nature. I say this every time I use them, but just in case this is the first time you're watching me, anytime you use any of these dies that have the little holes in them, so it's not going to really apply to these right here. You want to take, let me find my piece. Where did I throw it? Oh, here. You want to take a piece of wax paper and you want to rub it around all the way. And then when you run it through the die, you're going to be so amazed at how all these little tiny pieces are just going to pop right out. And you're not going to have to spend the next several minutes using your Take-A-Pick to pick out every single one of those. So that's what I did here too. I just used the wax paper. And now, okay, we could do one of two things. We could put dimensionals under it, or we could just put a couple of layers. And I had a couple of these already cut out because I thought I was going to make this card. And so I'm just going to put a couple extra layers. But you can do, it just needs some more depth. in my opinion. So I'm just gonna put that on the back, but you could easily use dimensionals. And then I'm just gonna put it, where do I want it? Maybe about right there. Okay, then we have some embellishments that are called Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink Gems. So I'm going to try to pull these out. Hello, they're stuck. Okay, and I'm going to use the darkest ones. And let's see, now I might do it a little differently on this one because it's so much bigger. I think I might try to put all of them. Oops, that didn't go well. Okay, let me just see what I want to do. I'm gonna not commit myself here yet. I'm going to just gently put these down until I figure out what I might want to do with them. You know what? I think that's okay with me. So now I'll press them down. On this one, I only put one here and two up here because this is so small. I didn't think there was really room for three. And we're always trying to work in odd numbers, right? So this is bigger. I wonder if that looks a little vacant. I wonder if a bigger one would be prettier here. Let's see if I can take that one off. Put it back. Let's try a big one. It's just, we've got a lot of space to fill up here. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to use two big ones and one little one. It just takes up a little bit more space. Okay, so that was fun and really pretty easy. It's just cutting out your pieces the right size, and here they are. They're still sitting right there. Okay, so now let me show you the other colors. So here's the blue. And this is Misty Moonlight. This is out of a package called Weekend Adventure. It's on page 73 in the catalog. And so I've done exactly the same thing. Oh, you know what? I didn't do exactly the same thing. I used the embossing folder that came with that whole suite. It's like a little florally thing. And then did the embossing and the tearing. The Happy Birthday is from Unbounded Love. And then inside, ta-da, a little bit of Misty Moonlight. There we go. Okay, so let me just move that one. Okay, so there we go. There's the first two. Okay, now, this one is Crushed Curry. And this is the dark side, this is the light side. But again, I could have used my regular cardstock here and saved my two-tone for another day, but I didn't. So now I use the sunflower. Since we've got sunflowers, I use the sunflower embossing folder on there. Again, I use the Happy Birthday from Unbounded Love, and then just put a strip inside. I just think it adds a lot of interest, but I'm just basically doing the same thing. So each of these is 1 inch. So I cut a 2-inch piece by DSP 4 5/8. Okay, so there's the Crushed Curry. Now let's look at the Garden Green. Oh my gosh, isn't this beautiful? So here we've got the regular, see this right here? It's the same as this. This is the two-tone cardstock, and this is the regular cardstock. So again, you know, I just wasted. Oh, it's sad. Anyway, okay, so 1 inch each, 1.5 inches for the centerpiece, tore it, sanded it. I think it's beautiful. In fact, this one I think I could even send to a mail. It's not too floosy. A little bit of green inside, sunflower embossing folder. Oh, you know what I used here? That fern. Oh, I didn't think I used the sunflower inside. Oh, well, nobody will notice. But I did use the fern embossing folder on this one. I completely forgot about that. Yes, I did. Okay. And each one of these, you want to either put a couple of layers underneath them, or you want to use some dimensionals. Okay, now for the Petunia Pop one, I used that same one that I used here. And it's Floral Delight or something like that. It came with that whole bundle that I was showing you earlier, the impressions, floral impressions. And I'm so glad we're friends. Comes out of whatever I told you earlier. Mixed labels. Yeah. And now this one, if you look really carefully, you're going to see, okay, I didn't have 2 inches here. I didn't have 2 inches. So I'm not even sure how much this is, but you can see this one's a little bit larger than this side. Down at the bottom, there is 2 inches. There are 2 inches. There are 2 inches. So I could have gotten 2 full inches here, but I don't think it was a disaster. Whoa, I don't want to drop this paper. Yeah, I don't think it was a disaster. And the reason I'm choosing to put cardstock inside instead of the DSP is because when you look at this paper, okay, so I'm using 4 5/8. That means I can make another whole set of these cards out of here. Now, realizing what I do now, I could have put DSP inside had I realized I could take the DSP out of one of these big sheets. I didn't have to use up my pretty paper here to go inside. But I'm okay with it. I think it's actually kind of fun to tear again and just, whoa, surprise, you know, have some torn and sanded paper inside. So I think even if I had thought about it, I think I would still use the cardstock inside instead of the DSP because you get to do the technique twice. Okay, so there you go. We've got 5 cards with the 2-tone cardstock, and you can take a picture of all of them if you want to. Oh, did I tell you where this one came from? I don't think I did. Petunia Pop is from Memories in Bloom, and it's page 67 in the catalog. Now remember, each one of these packages has 6 colors in it, and this one, these 2, I realized I didn't tell you, they're from the same package. So the green, Garden Green, is from Turtley Sweet and Crushed Curry. They're on page 69 of the catalog, and they're both in that one package. Oh my gosh, this is just like Be Still My Soul. So beautiful. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. If you don't have a demonstrator, please let me know. I would be happy to send a catalog to you if you'll email me, sandystamper@earthlink.net. No A in the Stamper because Sandy Stamper with an A in it was already taken. And if you have enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you subscribed, if you want to follow me, and then like it. That would really help me. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will look forward to having you next time.